What up, y'all? I go by the name of Moe D, music artist from Massachusetts, Western Mass, particularly. I've been making music since I was like 8 years old, and been making my own mixtape since '07. And since 2017, I started releasing my own albums with my own beats officially. So everything is 100% original. But yeah, it's just me, the creative, always constantly looking to make new music and drop new content for all of y'all. So definitely much love.
Okay. So why don't you tell us a little bit about how you first started in music?
Yeah, so basically when I was 8, I got a karaoke for my mother, right, for Christmas. It was like one of those days, special days for me, because we actually celebrated Christmas at my grandmother's house, which she lived a block away. So I just dragged it over to my house. And then once I plugged it in, I literally, used that thing every day. So you had the CD deck up top where we played the beats, and then we would record on cassettes. And I'm not too old. It's just that I was like during the transition period of all this stuff, right? So I was able to start that early, where I got to see how the cassettes work, CDs work, going into, like I said, then making my own mixtapes, starting in high school, and then dropping my own album. So just basically getting started like that. My boy always came to my house. I had a boy, Lil O. Shout out to Lil O. He always came over. We would make music, and just to put it real simple, it's like we worked on making music every single day. We would go to school, bring our notepads and our book bags, and we would write in between classes like all day, and then come home and just record. And then one of the transition moments in my life too was like when I got dropped off one time from my bus. I actually, instead of going home, I went back to like an alleyway, and then I climbed upstairs to a random apartment, and there was a studio there, and that's where I got like basically involved with this thing called Street Life, and then they got me on mixtapes, and we did a bunch of mixtapes that way. So like I said, just dropped a lot of music, and yeah, I don't want to sound boring or repetitive, but it's just basically like getting started like that, basically.
And so now I know you just released two songs and two videos from your latest project. That's Hear Me Out and To the Fullest. So can you talk a little bit about those songs and like the inspiration behind it?
Yeah, so basically, Hear Me Out There and To the Fullest are two of my most recent singles. So Hear Me Out There was one of those things where I wanted to kind of generate this passion and like this energy towards a certain message. So I can't really recall the specific lyrics and the verses that I had on there, but technically it's about just like making noise, like yo, I'm here, hear me out there. I hope you hear me out there. And in the video, I'm talking about things like I'm showcasing books like from Barack Obama, showcasing books like from Martin Luther King Jr. because I'm real big with like the whole civil rights and Black Lives Matter and humanity and all that stuff and equality. So aside from everything, like those are things that are really important to me. So I tried to portray that as much as I could in the Hear Me Out There content, and even in the lyrics. And just showing some confidence too, just like with the delivery and all that. And basically To the Fullest is on the same album, Forever Royalty. To the Fullest is really just motivating. That's why I kind of wanted to implement the entire boxing idea and like the gym working idea, because I feel like that's a track that you can hear at the gym and get motivated because it has a lot of hype to it. I did my own beats on that project. So it's really at the end of the day just all about like motivation, positivity and just grinding through it all. And I think like my delivery would showcase that, right? Just showing like the passion behind of the confidence of what you do. It be not necessarily it has to be music, but just the way I delivered it through. I wanted to make sure I showcase that energy and that passion in the music. So yeah, it's just basically like I said, hear me out there is what it stands for, right? Hear me out there with the noise I gotta make, with the messages I gotta send. And then To the Fullest is like perfect blend because we're doing that. We're trying to do that to the fullest every single day, to the fullest.
Right. What I really like about those two songs and even the videos is like they both have a very different energy to them and like a different vibe. So it really shows how versatile you are as an artist. So do you feel like is there anything else that you feel makes you stand out as an artist? Because I also know that like God and religion is something that's important to you.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think what makes me stand out as an artist is that I don't try to copy anything.
Mm,
Like every time I go in the studio, I know a lot of guys that go in there because they just heard a song or they just seen a video, and it's okay to get inspired, but they'll literally try to like copy paste, you know what? So
yeah.
it's like I see a lot of interviews and on IG, and I see a lot of music and videos, and what I see is kind of like a copy paste thing. Like whatever's hot, it's like everybody's doing that. But I try to always separate myself by staying 100% original, authentic in everything that I do, and not try to copy anything at all. So it's what comes from within. You know what I'm saying? Like, whoever sticks around with my journey, they're gonna see like I'm trying to release a documentary pretty soon too, like of my city, and kind of tell stories like, oh, this is what the building where I got started. This is the school I went to where I first did this, and I had my first freestyle battle. Like, I'm actually gonna do that tomorrow. I'm meeting up with my dude tomorrow to set up the documentary. So just so people can kind of get a feel of like some stories of how I came up. But I think it's very original, very pure, bringing upbringing. And it was like no limits. I never was told no. Like whatever I wanted to do, if there was something going on the street, party, sports, or girls, or this and that, like I was there. I was there without no limits, and because of that, I was able to see a lot of what the streets had to bring. You know what I
Mm.
mean? So just trying to stay 100% original. I think that's what separates me. And I know you had like a second part to that question, but um, yeah,
Yeah, I was just saying that I know it's important, I think, for you to be positive, and I know like God is a big part
yeah,
of your life. So is that how does that feed into your music? And like, do you ever feel conflicted also if you want to talk about that? Because
yeah. I
like
mean, it's a real challenge at the end of the day, to be honest with you, because it's like obviously God first, and I'm huge with like putting God first and always showing love and respecting that. But it's almost like my journey has almost been one foot in and one foot out.
mm,
So it's like I've been able to dabble in on both sides where I know how it feels to be in the most place where you can feel so blessed, and then I know how it feels to like have nothing and then being stuck on the street and then grinding and doing that. So it's like now combining those two, I mean that's the most challenging part, right? Because at the end of the day, I wake up in the morning, I thank God. I go to bed, I thank God. When I eat, I thank God. So it's like I'm very powerful and big on that because that's what keeps me going, even through all the struggles and all the fake people and like people coming in and out of my life, which I've been able to understand with patience in my life, just growing and maturing through everything and evolving as a human. So those things are huge to me, keeping your own vibe and keeping positivity and staying connected with the Most High,
yeah, that's
for
super
sure.
important. And so do you have any advice for artists? Because I know you brought up being authentic a lot, and I know that's something that a lot of artists and creatives in general struggle with. So do you have any advice on how to maintain that?
I think my advice on staying 100% authentic and original is just doing exactly what comes out of your heart and your mind. Don't try to like overthink things. Like if you feel something, whether it's a verse or whether it's a tone or whether it's a message, whatever you're trying to like express creatively, whether it's through art or music or whatever, is just doing it from your heart and not trying to mimic anything. I mean, obviously, like the world is a melting pot and there's inspiration in everything. So we can grab a little bit here, grab a little bit there, and mesh it, but always express it through who you are. I mean, I think that's the way to stay authentic.
Exactly. And then do you have any other advice for artists in general about like persisting or anything like that?
I mean, at the end of the day, for artists, I would just say to stay consistent in what you love. So no matter it is what you do, like if you love it and this is something that you want to do every day or every week, and this is what you want to do for the rest of your life, like you have that deep down inside, no matter what it is, I would just say stay true to it. Even when life brings problems or struggles and you're trying to balance everything out, I would just say, keep it centered, whatever it is that you're doing, and make sure that you always feed it and give it time because that eventually will grow even bigger if you give it time. It's like practice, right? You're practicing every day. You're in the studio to write, to do this. So you just give it time every single day, no matter what life is bringing you. And I think that's another way to stay balanced in life, not let life take over you, but you live life with a purpose.
For sure. And so before we go, do you have any projects coming out or anything you want to promote?
Well, actually, right now I'm finishing up my Spanish album. which is gonna be my first official Spanish album. Like I released Spanish songs before and stuff like that, but never to this extent. Like I got a reggaeton song on there. I got Spanish trap on there. You know, different. I'm doing different melodies on there because sometimes I feel like as an artist, I've held myself back to try to stay like in a certain lane, in a
Yeah.
certain lane because people know me for this. But I'm like, you know what? I don't want to plateau as an artist. I want to continue to evolve. So I was like, you know what? Let me drop the Spanish album, which I'm gonna be releasing by the end of this month in July 2021. And I'm actually going to be releasing a music video for it, the first music video for it next Friday. And then I got another video shoot for that album, the Spanish album, on the 16th of July, which is the day Space Jam comes out. I can't wait to see Space Jam. And basically after that, I'm looking to release another English project. I didn't really want to give the names yet, but like at the end of the day, I'm gonna just shout it out. The Spanish album is going to be called Futuro Brillante, which is like bright future in Spanish. And then the English project is coming out in September, which I already have pretty much everything recorded. I just need to record one more song and like a couple more verses on another one, and then just fine tune the buttons. And then that is going to be done. And that's releasing in September. So Spanish album in July. And then in September, I'm going to be releasing Legendary Legacy. So you know, it's gonna be major. Like I'm already getting hyped with how it's sounding, and once I release these two projects, I just feel like sky's the limit. Like I'm really stretching myself on things that I had never even tried before. Just being super creative. So I can't wait for that to come.
That's exciting. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
joining us. And I really look forward to everything you have coming out. Thank you.
I appreciate it.